Today, this will be getting a new nut. And here we go. I'm just going to start by using the nylon end of a fretting hammer. I'm going to try to knock this nut loose. Just like that. So just from one shot, knocked it loose. And let's see what I'm in for now. Oh, and by the way, before I did this, I just took an X-Acto blade and I just kind of traced along the outside of the finish so that when I did knock it loose, that it would just come right out. So it's a typical Fender quality nut. Just taking a look. It looks like it is a curved bottom. So if I just compare it to the new one, all that little nubby on that one, the nubby on that guy, it's going to have to come off. Here's a little better look at what I was looking at before. Here is the Fender nut, oops, that I'm dropping. The Fender nut has a curved bottom. And if you look at the new nut, you just kind of line it up. As you can see, it has a curved bottom, but it has that little nub in the back, as opposed to that. So all I'm going to do is take my Home Depot files, and I am going to take these guys off. I don't want to deprive anybody from awesome job of just filing. So I'm literally just taking this and just filing it off, taking a 3/4 file, and I'm going to file that little nubby off. You know, not exactly rocket science, but you know, even a drummer could do it. It's that easy. After getting the nut kind of ground down, getting a little nubby out of there, not exactly perfect, but what I'm going to do is take a little 220 grit sandpaper that I put under the tripod of the camera. I'm going to put it on the fretboard like so. I'm going to take the nut, orient it so the bass side is on the bass side, and just so I can match the radius of the fretboard and make sure that this nut is good, I am just going to take this and sand it back and forth for a little bit, just so that I know that bottom part of the nut is matching the radius of the fret, of the slot. Super exciting. Like if you're watching the Eagles right now. And there we go. Looks good. So just for kicks and giggles, test fit it into the slot. And it's too wide. So I will just take it after I drop the nut on the ground. I will just take this, right like so, and I will just sand it down and watch everything on my camera shake. That is just a hair too wide. So I'm going to continue sanding because you really probably don't want to see a guy with a shaky camera sand a nut fill into a slot, but I'll be back. By the way, when I'm sanding this nut down, see, it is almost there. I am really taking my time with this. So when I go to sand, I will just sand just a little bit, and I will check to see if it fits. It's getting there. It's a little tight. If I press it in, it will be just perfect, but I'm taking my time sanding it because you can take material off, but you can't take material and put it back on again. So I want to make sure that this nut will seat in this slot very well. So I'm taking my time with it. You should too, probably. After much sanding, there is the finished product. Goes in the slot right to the bottom. It's in there, there's no play. And it's looking good. I'm going to get some strings on here, just the two outside, and see what it's like now. So once you have the nut on there, and I put the two outside strings on here just so I can kind of make sure that when I put the nut on that it's lined up right. I literally just use just the littlest bit, and in this application what I'm going to do is use, I'm not joking, an old guitar string and a little bit of Gorilla Glue. I am just going to put the littlest bit of glue in there, because let's face it, in another month or so, if I decide I want to make another YouTube on how to fix a nut that somebody installed improperly, me, I may have to take this out again, and that's probably the best way to do it. So, goes in, and all I'm doing on the side here is I am just feeling it to make sure that it's on right. And I'm just going to tighten up the two end strings so that nut will seat properly. I can look at the gap to make sure the string pull is straight through. I'll even do that. Just make me feel good. I'm going to tighten this up, tighten that up. There we go. Everything's on there nice and straight. Just make sure that's seated in there. Everything looks straight. Show you what I'm looking at. Right up top, straight right through. And I'm going to put on the rest of the strings now. Here we go, tune it up. Snap! I probably got you to jump. And there we go. All up to tune. And I believe the correct height at the first fret is 18,000. Not bad. Got a little gap in there for it. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. Everything looks good. And there we go. That's how you change a nut on a Stratocaster. It's fun, it's easy. Give it a try yourself and don't be intimidated.